intercept hostiles.
Combat in progress. Deploy at once.
They've pinpointed our location.
Welcome to Gundam Evolution and Season 4. Yes, I have been playing Gundam Evolution before, although not on a regular basis, but this is one of those games that I enjoyed playing already from the start. There's something about it that sometimes get me the same kind of vibe in some matches that got me playing hours and hours of Halo 3 back in the days. I'm not saying that the games are alike, because they aren't really, but I'm referring to the feel when you're having some intense and fun moments playing for the win as a team. Especially if the game, as here in the video, goes into overtime. Because it does take some skill to do well in a game such as Gundam Evolution, which was the case when playing also Halo 3, so I guess that's at least one thing they have in common then. These units or mobile suits take some time to master, so if you're thinking about starting to play Gundam Evolution in 2023, then you should be ready to both have some patience, but also be ready to spend quite some time in here since there's a learning curve. That might also push some players away from the game if you aren't used to play similar shooters with abilities. But I do believe it's worth the time, since it's one of those games that feels quite rewarding when you start to do well in the game. And as mentioned earlier, if you get into a match with quite even teams and still manage to win, then it can be a lot of fun and also very satisfying. Since I don't play Gundam Evolution on a regular basis, I do have a hard time to tell straight off the bat if there's any obvious meta in the game you should know about, or if there's some unbalances when it comes to the different units in the game. I know people have opinions about this, so that's why I'm asking. So it would therefore be nice to hear from you guys that have been playing the game for some time what you think about that. One thing I remember though is that the progression system in this game is pretty slow, something that might be worth mentioning. It depends of course what experiences you might have from other games you've played when it comes to progression, but in my book it feels a bit slow, so you might want to be aware of that already from the start if you're getting into the game. Gundam Evolution is, by the way, a Bandai Namco game, and it was released in September last year, 2022. It has mixed reviews on Steam, and I wanted to talk about a few things that players have been reported or mentioning as negative when it comes to the game. Some are talking about the slow progression that I just mentioned here, since you really have to play hard just to unlock maybe just one new mobile suit in the game during a season. Others are mentioning that there aren't enough incentive when it comes to playing ranked matches in Gundam Evolution, which might turn some players away from the game, I guess. Some players therefore believe that the game has been partly mismanaged also by Bandai Namco, meaning missing the opportunity to grow the player base even more or further after its launch, since it by then had around 55k players playing the game. Maybe the game is too stingy towards free-to-play players according to some, since you do not earn any passive income that can be used to buy locked playable units. That's something that you might find in other games, for example Apex Legends. Because if we take a look into the player count right now on Steam when it comes to Gundam Evolution, it doesn't look that amazing, to be honest, although Season 4 seems to have boosted the player count a bit. But we're talking about plus 800 players on average, which isn't that many, a peak around 1900 players. And it does feel that the game could have had more, or deserves more, because even though the comparison has been made quite a few times with a game such as Overwatch or an Overwatch 2, Gundam Evolution has a good core and is, in my opinion, more fun to play than Overwatch. Well, that's just my opinion. So again, feel free to fill in here what you think. What can then turn the tide and bring back more players into this game? I believe rewarding players even more could be one thing that many would appreciate. But I also believe that some of the average FPS gamers out there might not fancy the concept of a game like this when it comes to playing with mech suits and abilities. I know that some players early on that are fans of the Gundam universe stated that the game felt more like an FPS game with some Gundam elements more than an actual Gundam Evolution game. That might be true, although I am mainly talking about this game from a perspective of being someone that enjoys a good FPS game. But it's pretty cool though to mention that the universe of Gundam has been around since late 70s and the beginning of the 80s, and we're talking about the old TV series alongside with merchandise, manga, novels and other video games. So is it then worth playing now in 2023? Well, it's a free-to-play shooter, so you can always give it a go and see if it's something for you. If you like competitive Overwatch-like shooters, sorry, here we go again when it comes to this Overwatch comparison, and also are ready to wait some to find a match when it comes to matchmaking once in a while, but you do want to try a game that has a fun and interesting core when it comes to gunplay and gameplay, then I can recommend you to start downloading Gundam Evolution today and give it a go. Will this game survive in the long run? Well, that's hard to tell, since it's partly in the hands of Bandai Namco, of course, but also if the core community of this game continue to stick around in order to play Gundam Evolution. With that said, I want to say thank you for watching, and if you like FPS gaming content, then consider to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out when I'm posting another video here on YouTube. Have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon again. Bye bye.
Our location.
Pretty good. We're attacking this location. Enemy team over.
Be on your guard.
10 seconds remaining.
Have a lock on me.
Area contested. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now entering overtime.
After this straight.
Got bad guys.
Prepare to try that again. It's tight. I'll revive it. There. Revival complete.